Hello, everyone. It's me, Bobbie D. It's Tuesday. It's election day, and it's time for us to talk. Tuesday Talks with Bobbie D is sponsored by Vibrant Souls Health and Wellness. You can find them on Instagram, and you can email them at vibrantsouls@gmail.com. Tuesday Talks with Bobbie D begins right now. Yes, it is that day. It is election day. It has been building our what's the word for it? Our anxiety. I don't know what to say, but it's been building and building and building for months. And who would have thought that by this point that Vice President Kamala Harris would be going against former President Donald Trump, and we really thought that it was going to be President Biden against former President Trump, two of the oldest candidates ever in a presidential, I don't know, not debate, because the debates are over, but lockdown. Nonetheless, it is election day, and I do have a few things to say about election day and what, if you are going to the polls, what I am, what I'm hoping for. Number one, you apparently, which is something I did not know. This is something that I literally found out over the weekend when I believe it was a Trump supporter, went to the polls, decked out in their Trump gear, and they got into a bit of a confrontation, and apparently it was over wearing a candidate's paraphernalia. I believe it was a t-shirt maybe she had on, or a hat or something, and it got pretty ugly. But from what I understand, that is illegal. To wear that to the polls, not to wear it or to display it or whatever. But I did not know that was illegal, that was a thing. So if by chance you are headed to the polls, if you have not yet voted, because obviously it's Tuesday morning, the polls will be opening, I believe, in our area in just a few minutes. So I would imagine that the polls open at 8 o'clock for everybody. I could be wrong. However, whatever it is that you planned on wearing, especially if it has your candidate's name or logo or whatever on it, I would vote against that. Please forgive me. I am so very sorry that is going. I always have something going on here. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. This is going to be really silly. I'm going to play a quick little video for you about our merch, and I'll be right back. I'm going to stop that. All right. Hold that thought. Be right back. Okay, so speaking of merch, I feel like that was probably since technically you're not allowed to wear the candidates' merch to the polls, you could wear our merch if you by chance have it. And, if we haven't already, if we hadn't already voted, which we have, we would have worn our own merch. So, so with that being said, please wear what you normally would wear, especially if you may be on your way to work. You may be, I don't know, on your way to a friend's house that might have an opposing view. So please make sure that you do not uh, get into a confrontation, especially over wearing the candidate you support's merch. Please don't do that. You could certainly change in the car. If you take public transportation, change on the bus or the subway, but please do not wear Vice President Kamala Harris merch or former President Donald Trump merch into your polling place if you haven't gone to the polls yet. And speaking of confrontation, let's not get into any confrontations today. I know I'm asking a lot because people are already stressed about the future of our democracy, and everybody's already on level 10. So please, 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 please consider taking it down 1,000 and maybe see the opposing view. A woman's right to choose, Roe versus Wade, abortion, is huge on the ballot right now, huge. And there are a lot of people who are very, what's the word? Very, very passionate and very upset about former President Trump squashing Roe versus Wade. And there's a lot of people. I've spoken to people on both sides, and even those who have told me that they are going to vote for him are very angry still about it. So though they're telling me that they're going to vote for him, it's a possibility that they could vote for Vice President Kamala Harris. Also, another thing, if you are not a fan of Kamala Harris, if I can just tell you this, okay? Now, as you all know, unless this is your first time with us on the show, and if so, thank you so much for joining me. Welcome aboard. Don't talk to somebody who may be a Democrat or a Republican for Harris and Walz about Kamala in the negative, especially mispronouncing her name. And I'm going to tell you why. Not only does it already kind of make people angry, especially when you are saying something negative about their candidate, which you would not want somebody to say something negative about your candidate. It really does make you look silly. As many times as people have said her name, and not to be whatever, but I will say I watched both the RNC and the DNC, and I thought that as a teacher, I thought that it was genius to have her nieces come out and pronounce it the way it's supposed to be pronounced. And again, not to be rude, and this is just me coming at you from my teacher side. The children are teaching you how to say her name properly. Children are teaching you, and you're still saying it wrong, you sound really, really not only ignorant, a bit simple, a bit like, you're losing it a bit. So say the name properly, say it properly. Shit, comma is the first part. The last part is as you're singing. La, comma, la. Let's all be clear as to how to say it. Mispronounce. And I've heard some people who are for her on television, they might get they might get the words a little mixed up and they're getting, fired up and Kamala, absolutely understandable. I get that. But to purposefully do it, and especially after the children came out and told you how to say it, come on now. Come on now. It's old. It's silly. You sound like you don't have any sense. So just a little piece of advice from your good friend Bobbie D. Please take it with a grain of salt. But I'm just saying, if you're constantly saying that flowers, the word flowers is pronounced flowers, flowers, and somebody keeps telling you over and over again how to say it, they're over it, but it does make you sound silly. It really does. It makes you sound really silly and ignorant and unintelligent, honestly. That's really what it makes you sound like. So as far as that, let's let that go. Okay, let's let that go. Also, if no matter who you are voting for, please show some class, show some decorum. I teach in a Presbyterian church, and we teach the fruits of the Spirit to the children. It's always a good refresher for those of us who are teachers. And let's think of some of the, if not all of the fruits of the Spirit. Self-control, number one. Love, joy, peace, gentleness. I mean, there's the list could go on and on. Come on, let's do this. How many? This will be the 47th time Americans have voted in our leader, and come on now, let's get it right. Let's act like we've got some sense. Let's act like we've got some class. Let's do this. Let's see what happens. And let's not contest anything until all of the votes come in. I mean, it's easy to say, oh, I won. Nah. Did you, though? Everybody counts. So wait. Exercise another fruit of the Spirit, which is patience. And if patience and self-control. If your candidate doesn't win, let's think about using some gentleness and some joy for those who might have voted for the candidate opposite of yours. And come on, let's do this. We're the United States of America. All of us, we all belong here. So with that being said, thank you so much for joining me today. Please be careful. Travel in a group. Hopefully you could vote when it's early, before you go to work. I fear for folks that are going later because you just don't know what's going to happen. I've been hearing a lot of interesting things, and I pray that nothing happens and that it's a clear and easy day. But if not, please stay prayed up. Please keep your head on the swivel and look around, check around you. And also, please go with a friend, go with a neighbor. If you have elderly parents, friends, family members, please, if you can, go with them so they don't get caught up in anything. And just please, let's come together. Let's come together. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing, amazing election day. Be safe out there, everyone. And I will see you again really, really soon. Bye.